We're talking about work from home or go back in the office. That has been the struggle for companies, how to balance that coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. And, the CEO of JPMorgan, Jamie Dimon, has leaked audio of what his real thoughts are on remote work and workers that work from home. So we want to play out just a little portion of that. Here is that leaked audio.
Not paying attention, not reading your stuff, and if you don't think that slows down efficiency, creativity, creates rudeness, and stuff, it does, okay? And when I found out that people are doing that, you don't do that in my meetings. You go to meet with me, you got my attention, you got my focus. I don't bring my phone. I'm not sending texts to people, okay? It simply doesn't work. And it doesn't work for creativity. It slows down decision-making. And don't give me the work from home Friday works. I call a lot of people Friday. They're not a person to get a hold of.
All right, there you go.
Hey, it's true. It's true. I agree with Jamie Dimon. Great fucking name, by the way, right? Let me tell you something. I work from home. I've worked from home for the last year. Prior to that, I worked completely in the office at a previous position. Before that position, it was like a hybrid. So I would go in maybe twice a week or so and then be at home for the other 3 days. Now, as being a person who works exclusively from home right now, I would tell you that I am more productive when I go into the office. I'm gonna just call it what it is, right? Obviously, I have a house full of people. So even if I'm sitting at my desk, I have my desk set up outside. I have like 3 different locations. I have one like by the kitchen. I have another area, another lab set up outside. And then I have a lab set up here in my room which is what I'm recording on right now. And I would tell you the amount of times I am interrupted for some of the smallest things. It can be my girl, it can be the kids, it can be people knocking at the door, it could be the dishwasher going off, whatever it is. It's just so chaotic to where I like the no commute because it takes me about 45 minutes to get to downtown in rush hour, and that sucks. So I don't like driving. But I would tell you, there's this saying that goes around that obviously you're not working a full 8 hours when you work remote. And let's face it, like, I'm gonna be real with you. I can get my work done in about half the time, so probably in about 4 hours. And I tried this out. A couple of times I woke up early in the morning. I started working at, let's say, 5 a.m. I was literally done with everything that was required for me by 9:30. 4.5 hours, I was done with everything. So now when you hear CEOs, like what he's talking about, first off, for the people who are appalled by his language and the way he communicates, let me tell you something. As an aspiring high performance person myself, this is how all of the top people talk. I'm telling you this for a fact. From the most liberal people, President Obama, Biden, Kamala Harris, to the most conservative people like Elon Musk, Trump, whoever, Vivek Ramaswamy, whoever, Patrick Bet-David. This is how highly successful people talk. They say fuck, shit, cunt all the time, with fuck being the number one thing, right? It's just the way that we express ourselves as high performance people. So don't be taken aback from the way that he's saying it. But what I want you to do is listen to what he's actually saying, and then I'll come back and get my thoughts on it.
Jamie Dimon might have a new middle name there. Jamie, tell us what you really think Dimon there, no doubt about that. So we want to get some more reaction about this hot topic there with the big CEO from JPMorgan. But let's bring in right now Rebecca Ungarino from Barron's to help break down this big talker. Thanks so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. And Rebecca, tell us a little bit of the backstory on all of this with this leaked audio.
Well, thank you so much for having me. So this audio and bit of context for folks who haven't been tracking this whole saga. About a month ago, JPMorgan announced a 5-day in-office mandate. It's set to go into effect in early March. Immediately, the backlash internally was quite swift. I think that a lot of their employees had already been working from home, but this was really a sweeping mandate that impacts all employees, and very quickly, people really said,
Look at
well,
this. Look at this. Look at this right here. Obviously, this is probably her son, just chilling, on the tablet and stuff. She's over here trying her best to stay focused. Let me tell you something, guys. I'm gonna tell you what it really is. Most people don't want to work for real. I'm gonna just call it out, man. People don't want to work. Okay. Now, before you jump in my comment section, let me tell you, obviously, I know that sometimes there's an exception to the rule, and there is a minority out there that can work from home. They've been doing it for years prior to the pandemic, and they are successful at it. I'm not talking about that 5% of people or that 3% or 1% of people. I'm talking about the majority of people do not have the type of discipline to work from home and still be as productive as they would be if they was in the office. Now, going into the office, it has its cons. I already mentioned one, commute time. I hate driving, especially heading down 85 in rush hour traffic. I hate doing that. To me, I waste about an hour, hour and a half just on commute time. Okay? The next thing is, obviously, you got to get fully dressed. Okay? Why is that important? Because I know a lot of people who have their cameras off. And I know a lot of people who do not get dressed for meetings and stuff. And it's just are they in the middle of doing something, like say they driving a kid to work? I'm sorry, to the doctor or something. Are they, heading to a ball game or something like that? Maybe they taking a vacation. I'm telling you for a fact, I've seen so many people mess it up for everybody else by having their WebEx or they Zoom not muted, and we've heard the background. I've seen people literally, let's say, do some unscrupulous things, some adult things, with the camera that they thought was on. So the truth is, as a whole, as an entire company, there's no company out there that can truly tell me that wasn't already 100% remote anyway, that was forced to go remote due to 2020. You'll be hard pressed to find a company who is as successful as they was when they had everybody into the office. That's why Amazon has done it. JP Morgan and Chase is doing it, right? Also, there's a lot of other companies too. If you notice, they haven't mandated the return to office yet, but on their new job posting, it says on site or to say hybrid. When you have such a huge workforce like the company that I work for, it's going to be very difficult to get thousands and thousands of people into the office, especially if you've hired people who are not close to the hubs and stuff to where they can go into the office. So it's really, it's really hard to like do that. But I wouldn't be surprised in a couple of years if that takes place too. I'm just telling you guys.
People really said, well, the company is doing so well. They had record profits of $58.5 billion in 2024. Why are we messing with something that's, not broken?
That's right.
The company, spokesperson for the company has said that, they'll maintain some flexibility.
Now that's fair, because JP Morgan is actually one of the newly stocks that I've added into my portfolio, because she's right. They have, as a company, they have been doing well year over year. They have year over year growth. Their revenues are up. The stock is going through the roof. This is not financial advice, but maybe it's a company that you can check out. JP Morgan, check them out, right? But so in this particular case, their employees will have a viable argument, at least have a leg to stand on. But when you hear him say, hey, I can't get a hold of my key people on Fridays, I'm taking time out to meet with stakeholders and meet with my managers, and they're multitasking and stuff. So he's talking about his anecdotal experience as the CEO. Now it's hard for you to change his mind otherwise because of what he's experiencing firsthand.
For different people's working arrangements, but the backlash was swift. And so coming up to this week, Jamie Dimon was in Ohio at a town hall style meeting. He was visiting Columbus, Ohio, opening of a new branch. While he was there, he met with employees and had this town hall meeting where someone said, an employee said, Jamie, I work on a team that works across geographies, works across countries, time zones. It makes no sense for me to be in the office. He talked a little bit about it, and that prompted this some of these remarks from Dimon. He said, "Listen, and as you heard, I've had it." He goes on, and so that's what led to the.
Yeah, so he like it just mentioned, he went to visit a new branch that they was opening up, and it just sounds like wrong place, wrong time. He didn't control his emotions. One of the employees said something about, hey, because I mean, in that case, like I just mentioned, obviously, that's why I think it'd be a problem with the company I'm at right now, because we do have people who live in different states, but we all work on the same team, so it'd be difficult to, get them to get into the office. But he probably just had enough at that point. I'm not condoning what he's saying. I just understand his sentiment because a lot of CEOs think this way.
Remarks this week.
Yeah, those were big comments there, obviously getting a lot of buzz there. And from the perspective of JPMorgan, they have so much real estate, so many office buildings. Of course, they want their workers back in. Obviously, workers that work from home now, they have different feelings.
Exactly. And so, a lot of the sources I've been talking about, we had broken a story about layoffs a few days ago. We had broken a story about really the backlash to the return to office mandate last month. And a lot of sources are saying, you know what, they're building this huge new headquarters in Midtown, not far from where we are here. That is set for completion, I believe, by the end of 2025. And they're saying, well, they just want to fill this, this big headquarters. They want that to pay off. They haven't, the company.
And that's another thing too. She hit it right on the head. That is another thing, because a lot of these, like the the market for office space is horrible, and it has been atrocious ever since 2020. Even a little bit before then, they still had problems filling retail space. But I know for a fact there's a lot of companies with thousands and thousands of square feet with no one in it. And even with my opportunity to go into the office, when I do go into the office, we have like 4 floors in Midtown Atlanta. I maybe see 4 people, literally, and one of them is a security guard. So, and like nobody is going down there. And I think that's going to be the rub. I think that's going to be the rub, because she's right. Like, it's going to be hard to sell that office space, because why would if you're another company, why in the hell would you buy it when you can't even get your people to go into the space? So this is going to be very interesting. I'll play a little bit more, and then I'll give you my comments.
Hasn't confirmed how much that headquarters has cost. $3 billion is out there as an estimate, but they have not confirmed. But it's a massive, massive building. It's a massive, massive piece of real estate that's going to be their new headquarters. And New York is a huge presence for them. So, a lot of sources I'm talking to inside the company, kind of point to that, and they're disappointed.
And there's long been rumbling.
So here's the question. If your company is launching an all-out blitz to get you to go back in the office, what are you going to do? Are you going to quit, find another company, go in and, kind of work on something else? Or are you going to oblige and go along with what they're saying? Me, what I would do, First off, I'm always interviewing. It's the very first thing. I'm always interviewing in the sense of not maybe actual interviews, but I'm always meeting people. I'm always reaching out to recruiters on LinkedIn. I'm always keeping conversations going with additional teams on at other companies because at any given moment in time, especially working in the tech space, you can be laid off. I have another video coming about an update on the layoffs for the federal workers. And for a lot of these people who were giving sort of like a heads up and then take heed to that, anytime I hear rumors about anything, first off, I'm still networking even during the good times because the best time to prepare for war is in times of peace. Okay? The best time to prepare for war is in times of peace. To me, if I move that over to the job market, when things are going well, commissions is up, we killing it as a team, money coming in, I get nervous. Why? Because I understand that nothing lasts forever. And I'm like, you know what? This can flip at the drop of a dime and it can be different tomorrow. So let me make sure that I'm putting myself in a position to where I can keep my income coming in, where I can take care of my family, and I can keep my options open just in case anything happens. I don't want to have to go into the marketplace, right? Into the job market after something has happened. Now I'm operating out of desperation. Maybe I cannot negotiate effectively. Maybe I can take an offer that is probably less than what I'm worth and stuff. No, I want to operate from a place of strength and I want to operate from a place of leverage because when I have these conversations and I have these interviews, I don't need the job so now I can be a little more free with my answers. I can be a little more selective with what offers I accept. And it just puts you in a place of power. This is what this tells me. If you don't want to go back into the office now and you haven't been laid off or nothing like that, cool. Don't say nothing. Don't don't even argue. Just note it. Okay. Keep it quiet. Don't tell none of your coworkers. Don't tell anybody anything. Nobody knows what Rock is doing. Nobody knows my plans at all. Nobody. Work behind the scenes. Upskill, get you an additional certification, whatever you need to do in order to make yourself more marketable to other companies, and then just leave. It's simple as that. If you don't like a situation, if it doesn't fit your lifestyle anymore, go somewhere that does. It is very, very simple.